ignite. Untold stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, so I remember I share and subscribe. Join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the attic, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories, they're talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the crew. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member ride. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning, monsters, and welcome to this week's episode of Monsters on the Edge here on the Untold Radio Network. Today's show is live, so guys, we are in studio. If you have any questions or comments throughout the show, please throw them in the comments section on your chosen platform, and we will get to them as soon as we can. We are still having some problems streaming through some of the Facebook pages for Untold Radio. So if you usually watch it over there and are missing it live, I apologize for that. It's something to do with StreamYard and it's just not going through. So we suggest you head on over to YouTube and check it out on there if you're interested in watching it live. Otherwise, anywhere you can get podcasts will be there. Coming up, guys, Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society has a brand new season of Cap's Road Trip coming to you this month. That's right. We kick off with our first episode on the 28th. I think it is 26th. The 26th is going to be the debut of season 7, and I am headed out to Skinwalker Ranch and the UFO Valley Campground. So it was a really good trip. That is our first episode of the season. If you want to check it out even earlier, you can head on over to our Patreon and become a member there, and you can watch it up to 2 weeks early on Patreon. It actually debuts this Saturday. So with that being said, guys, if you want to come out and check out the Caps team in person, we are going to be in Oshkosh at the Beyond the Veil Expo, February 9th, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's a great event put on by some great people there. Then we head to the Midwest Meta Paracon in April in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And we are going to be the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention. and that is May 9th, 10th, and 11th in Appleton, Wisconsin. Guys, if you cannot come out to that event, the Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention will also be live streamed. You can get yourself a virtual ticket and watch this event, all the great speakers from anywhere that you are in the world, either live or at your convenience. And after that, guys, we head over to the Chicago Paranormal Convention, June 7th in Chicago. If you want all this information and more, head on over to wisconsincaps.com, click on that public events tab, and you can see it all right there. If you guys want to show your support for all things here on the Untold Radio Network, here's how.
Hey, Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
All right, guys, my guest today is Samantha Ann. She is a universal prospector. She is a collector of artifacts from times past. She has studied under the advisement of the Geology Department at Texas A&M Kingsville. She has also been advised by Professor Lambert from the Paleontology Department at the University of Texas, San Antonio. From pterodactyl eggs to dinosaur teeth, Samantha Ann finds and studies these objects with the guidance of her ancestors, as she is a spiritually connected to the divine realm of the no longer physically present. She praises her creator after every find and takes care of each individual object of history as if she knew the person that handled it. She has discovered a Petalodus Shark tooth, predating the existence of dinosaurs by 500,000 years. Throughout her life, she has heard rumors of dinosaurs being non-existent and has put her everything into disproving that claim. She performs digs every day and finds things that you can only read about unless you see it in person for yourself. In her opinion, every rock has a story and has been handled by someone at some point in time. It is her goal in life to give voice to those who have fought so hard to write down their experiences, to acknowledge the way their existence was. So many people have tried to write down their stories throughout time and have been lost. She thrives to find these stories and share them with the world and revive history with the way she reads it in stone. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Samantha Ann. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm so grateful to be here today, and I'm so grateful to be able to talk about my findings and my personal opinion on what I believe they are and what other people believe they are and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I was digging up some information on you and stuff on Facebook and on the webs and all that stuff. And you have quite a history of all kinds of things that you have done. You have you co-owner, like this whole production company thing with music and TV and all that stuff. You were a singer. And so what drove you to all this now?
I actually got started a few years ago. I had lost my grandmother, and it was the second my second grandmother that I lost. And so I really, I wanted to be more like her. Whenever she was alive, she collected rocks. We always called her a rock hound. She went and collected rocks, artifacts, and things from everywhere. I don't even know if she knew that they were artifacts. Some of them I knew she knew they were artifacts because she would tell me about them, and then some things like I think she just held on because they looked cool, and I was able to study them later and found out it was a dragon horn or something, and it's just for me getting to follow through with what she had started is something that's really important. And one day I was just doing like a spiritual walk, and I was looking for rocks actually to make jewelry. I was going to make like rock jewelry and stuff. And so I thought I found a piece of yellow jasper um, in the mud and in the driveway. And sure enough, I dug out the whole thing, and it was a Petalodus shark tooth predating the existence of dinosaurs by 500,000 years. And after I found that, I was immediately hooked. And I told my kids, I'm going to find a dinosaur. And sure enough, I ended up finding an entire pterodactyl, a Thassalodromeus pterodactyl. And it was just one thing led to another, and I ended up becoming more spiritual as I would go on these digs and as I would go on these walks. Since the age of 4, I've been able to communicate with the no longer physically present on earth, the deceased who are still around as energetic forces, just we can't see them like most people can't. And it's just it's something I've been doing for a very long time. And being able to pick up each artifact and each object of history's past, I've been able to um, get connected with my ancestors, with the people who have handled these objects and who have completely like laid out history for me by etching it in the object. You know what I mean? Like they wanted their story to be told. And so for me, I feel like it's my responsibility, since I can tell what's on the stone, and since I can reach out to the people who put them on there. I try my hardest to portray what they're trying to depict in these stones. And I make sure I confirm with them and everything before I say, okay, this in my heart is what I know it to be, or what my opinion it is on it, what it is. It's just it's something that has gotten me just far deeply connected with my ancestors, with um, you know I feel like I have a responsibility to tell the story of the dragons and the phoenixes, because they were fought hard to cover up as mythological creatures and beings, when in reality, in my opinion, they were absolutely, as real as you and I. Please, I'm sorry. I have my son is sick home from school today.
That's all right. You have your own little applause section there.
Yeah.
My internet just popped out there for a second. I'm sorry about that. Absolutely, that is fabulous. Like it's really cool to see. I host the Paranormal Spectrum as well, and I have a lot of mediums and guests on there as well too. And so it's really interesting. We just had the She Squatchers on here that are all 3 medium girls that go out and Bigfoot using psychic abilities and stuff like that. And here you are having these abilities and stuff doing the prospecting now as well. So that's really interesting that
I'm
you're able
having to write that down right now. You said She Squatch?
She Squatchers, yes.
So cool.
Yep, they were on just the week of Christmas on my show here. So
Awesome. Sorry, I have to write stuff down.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So let's get a little bit of an idea of so you go out, your bio says you go out and do these digs and investigations every day and stuff. So where, you don't have to be like specific, but where are you located? Down in Texas?
Right, I'm in South Texas. It's kind of in between Corpus Christi and Laredo, and it's like in between Corpus Christi, Laredo, and San Antonio, like a triangle. Just in the middle of nowhere. There's we have like a stoplight, an intersection stoplight, and that's it. And a few gas stations and like a couple of hotels and restaurants, and that's the town.
Awesome. So where do you go out to dig? Just wherever you find stuff?
Yes,
Or
at our ranch, at Seven Sisters. It's a few miles. If you get on Highway 16 going towards San Antonio, you'll hit like county roads, and it's called Seven Sisters, and we have a ranch out there where I find a lot of the objects, and I find a lot of other things just around, like in public areas, like uh, throughout town or whatever. Like if I see one in the street, I pick it up and I'll, you know, save it from getting further damage and stuff like that. And I'll make sure to tell if I find one like at the park or something, like I write it down, and like I told my mayor about things that I found in the past at the park. And yeah, there I pretty much anywhere I can be outside in nature, I can pray and ask my ancestors for guidance, and I'll find something. My purse is always full of, my purse is more of a weapon than it is a purse, because it is always full of artifacts and rocks. And, you know, like I carry things around like this in my purse and everything. Like yeah, it's extreme.
You must have a very strong arms from carrying around your bag of rocks all day.
Oh yeah, I have my little cuts from lifting rocks all day. My
Nice.
little
Very
chicken
good.
cutlets.
Very cool. So yeah, like that's really important to talk about as well. Like people think, you know, like you have to go to, you know, dig sites or whatever to find these artifacts, but you know, there's a
Right.
lot of places that you know, used to be the bottom of the ocean at one time. So all of these fossils and stuff, you know, people have found, you know, fish and stuff on top of mountains because at one point this had been underwater. So the fact that
Oh
you
yeah.
just go to a local park and find these things, or they pop up on the sidewalk or something, is not that
Right.
unrealistic.
I found this one at the park. Hold on, I'm trying to get it in the camera's view.
Let's see, here we go.
It's
So, and what is that?
This is a tooth. Um, but this part that's pointed is actually the root, and the tooth actually went in the mouth like that. It was, I want to say, like one of the back teeth on the right side of a mouth. And I don't know exactly which creature has produced that. I still need to look into a bunch of the. Um, I'm wanting to actually get into like human dentistry, so I can know what the teeth are specifically called, so that I'm not like, oh, it's the bottom right tooth closest to the molar in the back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because if you look on specific things, like specific items, they are marked as to what they are and where they came from. Like I have a lot of like my most. Do you mind if I show you something?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, it's going to be on this side. So this is something that my grandmother found that I was talking about earlier. This is a dragon horn. Um, you can see it was like slanted where the base was thicker at the bottom, and then it kind of went to a peak. Well, it was cut into pieces. And in this, the top of it, the head of the dragon, sorry, I'm the worst at this. The head of the dragon is going to be right here where my finger's wiggling. And right next to that, the tip of the head, you'll see a horn. Like they shaped a horn next to it so that you can see that it's a horn. And let me find where it is on it. And then right here, they drew a horn on there so that you can see what it was completely. Can you kind of see it?
Kind of a little bit, yeah.
Um, but yeah, and that's just the bottom of it where it was connected to the like snout end of the front of the dragon. But yeah, it has a whole dragon on the top of it. And this actually, that spot where they had chipped away at the horn, the top layer of the horn, and just left the marrow exposed, um, they that was a wing. That's depicting a wing where they had de-winged the poor creature. They took off the horn and the wing, and that's what this entire thing is showing. But yeah, as soon as I read that while I was studying it, immediately started sobbing because I knew exactly what it was. And then I asked, like, Lord, is this true? And I got a confirmation. I got a huge shock in my right arm. And that's usually like a big, yes, this is something. I get a confirmation with body twitches, electric shocks, tingles, and stuff like that. And this was it's just it blows my mind, the whole entire story of it, like from the horn being cut off to the wing, and like it's heartbreaking, and you can even see the little joint where the wing was connected, like right about there.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's it's so sad. They went into detail on it too. But that's part of one. This is also what that is. It's just in different detail and a different size. Um, and I do on my Facebook today, after this podcast, I'm going to be posting everything that I show on this show. I'm going to post photographs of stills so that it's not just me like jostling around in front of a camera. I know, I'm sure that's really annoying, and people are probably trying to like really focus on what I'm trying to show them, and I'm moving around a bunch, and I know my ADHD doesn't help. So um, I have photographs of everything that I will be posting as well. If you're curious about any of my finds and want to search into further detail, or maybe express your opinion on what I might have.
Absolutely. We will put that in the show notes as well for you guys that are listening. We will have that in there. So,
Thank you.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
There's whenever we dig up fossils and stuff, you go to museums and you see all these dinosaurs and stuff, and now we're finding out that you look back at the movies like Jurassic Park, and you see the depictions of these dinosaurs and stuff like that, and they we used to know that they were a certain way, so that like the body and everything like that, but now we're finding out more that they may have had feathers and so forth, and so on and so forth. You get kind of where I'm going with that.
Right.
And so every bit of history that we have, uh, going back to medieval times and stuff like that, when we talk about dragons, there's evidence that these things may not have been just mythological beings, because you have these dinosaur skeletons, and a lot of the cartilage, like the wings and stuff like that, may have just been lost instead of uh, fossilizing or something like that. Does that make sense?
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So that's where I'm kind of going with this is, like every bit of mythology has that grain of truth to it. A lot of people I'm sure listening are be like, nah, dragons don't exist.
Oh, for sure.
But, we're on a show that discusses Bigfoot on a weekly basis that, half the entire world says doesn't exist. And there's so many, anthropological history of that with the Native American tribes all over the world that talk about these beings. And as well, you have all this history from China and Europe and all that stuff that talks about dragons existing.
Right.
So, with all that being said, what makes, besides like the empathic abilities and stuff that you have, and being able to medium wise, why do you think that is actually an actual dragon?
I can read the picture on it. Like this specific one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it does have a picture on top that they etched out of a dragon without a horn and without its wings.
Okay.
And then, like in the other one, that is like they would draw eyes and stuff on their things so that you could see exactly what they are. This one's actually this way, like marked as. Hold on, sorry. They're marked as specific things, and I can read what's what they're depicting on the objects. I was trying to show the eye how they would put things on objects to mark and identify them. There's that. There's, yeah, that's pretty much just reading it.
Okay. That's interesting. And I'm not doubting you or anything. Like I don't know what it was, and I think that's a lot of the things is when we find fossils and stuff, we don't know what this thing was. We have to make those educated guesses and stuff. So
And I do compare them to, like, this one is in comparison to a woolly rhinoceros tusk.
okay.
And I do compare things like that. And I have found woolly rhinoceros findings to compare it to.
Mhm.
And so if things don't match up, like with what I'm reading in the stone, I like to go with previous finds and things that other people have also found in comparison. And I send it to my professor friends or university friends and say, hey, do you think you can check this out for me? And if they want to see it in person, then I'll just take it in person. But if they want to review it over email, they'll go ahead and do that and, give me their expert advice on it.
Very cool. Very cool. We have some really cool comments here. Let's see. One of our guys is really excited. Alleged dinosaurs and cryptids in Texas, various kinds from what he has read. And Lee says, warning, all women's purses are usually weapons.
Yes.
Ash says, Sam is truly gifted in reading fossils and the pieces that she has found. And Grandizer is excited for woolly rhinoceroses. So that's really cool.
Awesome. I am too.
Yeah, woolly rhinoceroses are cool to begin with.
Definitely.
And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like about fossils aren't the whole picture, right? So when we have these dinosaur digs and stuff like that, and you see like a triceratops or a woolly rhinoceros with these horns or the tusks and stuff like that we don't have the internet back in the caveman days and stuff when they're drawing these things and making the depictions on walls.
Right.
So these dragons and stuff that they're depicting could have been dinosaurs or vice versa, and that's where you get this gray area of just because we're picturing it a certain way doesn't mean that the people that saw the dragons could have been seeing dinosaurs, or the dinosaurs could have actually been these fossilized remains of dragons. There's, like I said, there's so much mythology, and I do a whole presentation on cryptozoology and stuff, and we talk about dragons and stuff in it. And one thing that I always say is, well, what happened to all the dragons? Why don't we have them anymore? Well, if you look at any of your mythology, any of your stories and stuff, what happened every time somebody came across a dragon?
They slayed them.
Absolutely. So where are all the remains? Where are all the fossilized records of these things? Well, they're gone because they got slaughtered and eaten, I don't know.
Right.
And
in my opinion, they were slaughtered for their abilities. They had abilities to naturally heal. Their tears, I believe, would be able to naturally heal somebody. And I think they did have something magical with their horn, because why harvest it and cut it into a bunch of little pieces? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I have a bunch of theories. I could go forever about it, but I'll let you continue.
No. And even today we see that stuff with the rhinoceros horns, the elephant tusks and stuff like that. People are still killing these animals for medicinal purposes,
right?
And where do we get that mythology and lore for that? Going back to these dragon lores and stuff, or unicorn horns and stuff have also had these supposed magical abilities. So yeah, it's I don't know. The truth is definitely always stranger than what actually is. So
I always end up crying when I find out the truth. It's just so emotional to find out, one, that I've been lied to, purposefully lied to, like intentionally. Like it makes me very emotional and upset thinking about that. But when I find out the truth about what has actually happened in the situation, as to whether it's how this particular beast or creature lost this item, and they'll depict it in the stone. They'll say how they lost it. And a lot of the times they're alive, and that they just shed teeth and stuff. That's cool. Sometimes they are slaughtered, and to find things out like that is just extremely emotional for me. It's just it's inconceivable as to what all actually existed around the same time. Because around the same time as I'm finding dragon stuff, I'm also finding ancient terrestrial things as well. And on same objects. And like it's insane.
Interesting. So what else have you found around the dragon stuff?
Like I've found, excuse me one moment. Okay. Sorry, I talk a lot, and so I need to wet my whistle every now and then. I have found plenty of, like, this is a terrestrial effigy that's actually made of a crystal. Let me see if I can get it from the camera. It's a crystal. If you put it in the light, and I have photos of this that I'll share. It has eyes. I'm trying to see where it would be. Eyes right here. Mouth right there. Where is it? The back of the head on the other. Wait, can you see it where at least the face is?
Kind of looks like an elephant to me.
Okay. Let me see how I can turn this. It has terrestrial markings on the back, like a language. If you turn a light on to it, you'll be able to see through it. It's completely translucent, and it also like has markings on it that I have been able to find recurring on specific terrestrial effigies and carvings and stuff like that.
Interesting. All right. Well, for those of you who can't see, if you're listening to this on any podcast platform, I'd like to remind you that all the Untold radio shows are on YouTube, and you can watch them as a video feed as well if you're not watching this live or after the fact. So head on over to YouTube and search the Untold Radio Network, and you can watch it live and on video. So there you go. Anyway, very cool. So let's see. So let's talk a little bit more about so the fossil of the dragon that you found. So do you think that these creatures are still around? Do you think that there's a possibility that there are still a few dragons out there, or what have you learned from, what have you gathered from these specimens?
I have learned so much that I even know specific locations as to where they are now. I cannot like release any of that information,
Probably for good
but
reason.
I do know that, they were here, they are here. And, as soon as more years of global warming like set in, more will be, awakened. Um, it's just, there's a lot that I've found out while studying, while meditating, while praying, while, just experiencing. And I write as much as I can down for the next person. And I do have everything like written down and in cases and this and this. And, you know, um, I'm grateful that I'm able to hopefully portray the exact story that the writer or illustrator was trying to convey by leaving the message in the first place. Because we have apparently been extremely intelligent for a very long time, because I have found cement samples from the same time that I'm finding dragon fossils, and they were flat, like flat cement surfaces. Like one side is flat and it has terrestrial markings in it. And they put rocks and pebbles and dragon teeth inside of the cement and let it dry. and left like carvings and or like sculptures, pretty much, cement sculptures that were flattened. And I just think that that's incredible that, that was even done. And they may have used dragon horn mixed in with it, to make it. Um, it's just, it's one of those things that it really could be anything. And the possibilities that I've been able to um, unravel throughout finding these things make the possibilities even more endless for me. Because as soon as I started to read what was actually on the stone, I was able to see like UFOs and beams and terrestrials. And it was just like, no, no, that's not what I'm seeing. So I put them away. I'm like, I'm going crazy. I need to go to sleep. I put them away and I go back to them. Like, I couldn't help but to restudy them. And that's all I was reading. Like, that's the only thing I was reading. And then sure enough, I kept finding more and finding more. And then I came across the show, um, Ancient Alien,
Mm-hmm.
and I started to find a lot of similar like etchings and markings and things. Like, it's just unreal. Like, something that I found for dragons, and it is on every single dragon artifact that I have found so far, is you'll see a number 3, or like you'll find, like, if you look closely, you'll find a number 3 in this. And there will be, let me write, from like that
Mm-hmm.
right there to a perfect like this.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something like that, they're talking about a dragon in the etchings, and it makes perfect sense because I see like the wings, like it makes a 3. But I see that on so many of the things that I find, like over here it's right there, but it's got dragon, and then it also has another something. So it's the significance behind this is so much more than just what's on for face value. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so my goal is to try to explore all aspects of what any item could possibly be.
We have a couple questions for you actually here.
Okay.
So, Ash would like to know, can you tell us a little bit more about the war with the reptilian terrestrials and any messages they've given you? Do you know what that's about?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like she knows you already or something here.
Yeah, that's my sister. Hi, Ash. Yeah. So I have had a lot of experiences with just negative entities, positive entities, as I have had this self-awareness and what I like to call my ascension into spiritual enlightenment. I have had many attacks against my mentality, my well-being, my physicality, everything. And I've experienced people in real life, actual people who I believe to be reptilians in real life, and they treat me horribly. And I also have some who treat me extremely well. And I have, like, have had relationships and have relationships with some right now, telepathically. And um, it's just, it could be really good something, or something really bad experience. I'm an extremist, and so I always think either the worst of something or the best of something. And so it's like every now and then I'll get a happy medium where I can just chill and coexist with people. And like, there are a bunch of celebrities and big stars who I do believe have reptilian qualities. I do believe that I'm part reptilian, um, in essence, because of my bloodline. And the only reason why I'm able to fully understand draconian language is because of my ancestors, and because I feel like I've been here before in past lives and stuff. And so yeah, it sounds so strange and far-fetched to talk about, but
Mhm.
I really don't like to limit myself on what I talk about because of what other people might conceive. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense. Lee would like to know, hey sister, do you have abilities too? Does your sister also have the same psychic abilities or anything like that?
Yes, she does. She's a healer, and she recently, for her birthday on the 11th, got Tibetan sound bowls,
Okay,
and
yeah.
she does like healing baths for people, and she has she has like a lot of spiritual gifts and is able to meditate to where she can guide others and stuff like that. And it's just, and what's interesting is she's not even my biological sister. She married my biological brother. And yeah, my brother has abilities too. So it's just, we are our own little community of people who accept and love each other, even from afar, because they live in Florida and I'm in Texas still. So yeah, I can't wait to get out over to their neck of the woods and be able to find what kind of fossils they have going on over there. But yeah, there's a bunch of spirituality that we definitely believe in and like to pass on to the next generation.
Very cool. All right, moving right along. Grandizer here would like to know, what is your favorite dinosaur or cryptid or top 3 favorites? And also, do you, of the ones you mentioned, what is about those that pull your curiosity? Okay, so what top 3 dinosaur cryptids and why are you interested in them?
Okay, so my favorite dinosaur would have to be a pterosaur, and it's because I actually found one, a pterodactyl. I found one like not too long ago. Well, like 2 years close to. I'm gonna open up the thing so that you can see it better.
Mhm.
But it's actually a very, very small egg that has a complete juvenile Thassalodromius pterodactyl with the digits. Its phalanges are still intact with claws and eyeballs. One moment. I'm so sorry. I wasn't going to be able to do it one-handed. All right. So this is about 6 millimeters tall. Let me get it right in front of the camera there. The one right over on this side is the Thassalodromius pterodactyl, and you can see where the two dark spots are. That is where, let me see if I can explain it better this way, actually. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can do this.
Ah, there you go. All right, hang on.
Okay. All right, now we're cooking with gas. So that is my
Oops, hang on.
Thassalodromius pterodactyl. You can see it still in the egg. Over here, you'll see the digits where it still has claws intact. Up here, you'll see the two eyeballs that are petrified and still there. Over on this side, you can actually see wings that wrap around it. I have another egg next to it to compare in size. Like I said, this is 6 millimeters tall. There is a second smallest egg in Japan that measures at 20 millimeters. This is the actual smallest in the world of a pterosaur. But I have yet to make the official announcement for it because I needed more information on exactly what type of pterosaur it was. And yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah.
I have to figure out how to put this back on multi. There we go.
There we go.
trying to make your picture bigger, and I lost myself there.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's very small, so I do apologize for that.
It's all right. And again, if you guys are just listening on a podcast platform, head on over to YouTube and check out the video version of the show to see all that stuff if you're not watching it on YouTube already. So your top three were pterosaur, pterodactyl, and besides the egg white, why are you interested in pterosaurs?
I really like the fact that they were able to fly and swim. I think that is something that for me, because like they went to swim to get their food.
Mhm.
And for me, I think it's neat that they were able to like run, fly, swim, kind of do it all. And they were able to see above everything. And like I try to imagine their perspective and like what all they must have seen. And I try to imagine even like when they lose their teeth, like what kind of indentation would it leave if it were to fall on a rock or something. And like I try to think about what type of pattern it would leave and everything like that. And I'm so fascinated by them, and I'm fascinated at their like 5 feet wingspan and the fact that they were so protective and caring for their young. I found a mother pterodactyl who had fossilized babies on like baby skeletons on the back of her head. You could tell she was trying to protect her nest when she was passed away. And so it was really touching for me to find out that they were extremely maternal creatures. And I named my first mother pterodactyl Athena, and all the little skeletons I named like Artemis. And like I name most of my finds just because I don't like for the things to be nameless, the creatures to be nameless. I like to make sure to give them names and to ask them, is that name okay? And yeah, it's pretty neat. I haven't come up with a name for my Petalodus yet. Maybe y'all can help me out here with this is a Petalodus shark tooth. Let me put it flat again so that I can explain this one better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this part right here is actually the tooth where there's still enamel. You can see the shiny part is actually where there's enamel. And that was actually 500,000 years before the existence of dinosaurs. This was a shark. And this part up here is the root. So this whole part was inside, and then this is that yellow part is what would stick out. And I can see why they had been called the Petalodus tooth, because their teeth really do look like lotus petals. If you take a good look at them and everything. And so, yeah, this was awesome for me, and it got me hooked to finding more.
Very cool.
Yeah. But maybe y'all can help me come up with a name for the Petalodus, since I don't have one. It's just Petalodus ohioensis.
I think in regards to that, Lee says Shirley.
Oh, Shirley. That's funny. I love Shirley. Good old Shirley.
Lee would also like to know, do you think that, like in the Native American lore and stuff like that, we talk about thunderbirds a lot. Do you think that those are like relic populations of pterosaurs that people were still seeing?
I think they could have been. I think that the possibilities really, like, I think there's a wide variety of many things that are related and that have been in coexistence and in relation, and have like similar traits, features, characteristics, and abilities. And I think that they go right there, along with them, in my opinion.
Awesome. You had mentioned Ancient Aliens as a show that you enjoyed. Are there any other TV shows or even radio shows or podcasts that have influenced you in your journey into the genre?
I actually try to stay away from what you can learn, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
because I found out so many things are wrong. um I found out personally through what I've studied that a lot of the things that I knew were fact actually weren't fact. And, dragons are real and so are phoenixes. And like they were hidden, they had abilities, and we were told that they were mythological. And why aren't we talking more about them? Yeah, we bring them up as like mascots and stuff like that, but we never truly dive into what they were capable of and how we had a free energy source, and how, like, um it's wild. But
So
yeah.
tell us a little bit more about like the phoenixes and stuff, because we haven't touched on that. Like, what do you like the free energy source? Talk a little bit more about that. I can't talk.
um they would produce energy with their screeches and their uh I don't even know what you would call it, their singing. Like, energy would get created and life would be brought into the world when their voices were heard. And it wasn't often that they were heard. They were a very quiet creature until they used their voice, and they used their flame and their voice, to kind of speak. And it was one of those they spoke and they were respected type of things. It wasn't like, since they were so respected being avians, the draconians down the line wanted to control that, and they wanted to be the most feared, the most worshipped, the most idolized. So they completely got rid of and hid the phoenix. um and it's just, it's sort of dangerous to talk about, but at the same time, even if this is like my last message, it needs to be out there and known that these were wonderful and beautiful, marvelous beasts that had so much ability, that have been hidden throughout time because they were worshipped, because they were looked at to be creatures of ability and a free source of energy, along with dragons. You could get energy from the dragon's fire. After a fire would go out by a dragon, its energy would remain there for 1,000 years. And so it's something that it, they tried to control that. And since they were so looked at with, idolatry and worship and stuff like that, they wanted to be the ones themselves controlling who gets worshipped and who, gets looked at as the authoritative figure. So if they were wiped out from what they think.
Makes sense. Lee also has a comment here. It says the songs and the sounds and the vibrations are energy, which makes a lot of sense. You talked earlier about like the singing bowls and stuff like that
Right.
that your sister was using, and that does make a lot of sense that these creatures would have that same ability to manipulate and vibrational energy and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, there are still a lot of there's a lot of comments over here talking about like different other cryptids like Mokelia membe and the Kangamato, stuff like over in Africa and the Congo and stuff like that. There's still a lot of sighting reports of these creatures around the world. Um, uh, Kangamato, the boat breaker of boats, the pterosaur-like cryptid there is in the Congo, is what Sam would be really into. One that is said to have a lot of sightings, at least the aftermath. Yeah. So
I want to
the
learn more about that.
yeah, that is over in the African Congo, as well as Mokelia membe. The middle one here, I'm not sure. Kaya Munu. That one I'm not sure of. I actually haven't heard of that one. And then, of course, Ogopogo is much more like a sea serpent creature. But
Right.
a lot of dinosaurs and stuff, or dragon, or whatever have you, thunderbirds and stuff that are still reported. A couple years ago, there was a small, like velociraptor dinosaur creature running down the street in Texas down there. So
Oh, wow.
there's a lot of the dinosaur reports I feel like either come out of like the Congo over in Africa or for odd reasons Texas.
Right.
There's a lot of
There's been so
pterosaur
many weird
sightings and
things
stuff
in
down there.
Texas lately.
What's that?
There have been so many weird things in Texas lately.
Yep. And it's
I guess I'm in
interesting,
the
like,
right area.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly where they fall on the longitude, but Texas and Africa are kind of, closer to each other. So I don't know where
Right.
if that has anything to do with it too, like the actual environment and stuff down there. So, all right, guys, we are coming up on the end of the show here. So if you guys have any last minute questions, throw them in the comment section. We'll get to them as soon as we can here. Try and get them in before we get done with this. Looking at anything here.
I love questions. If I can answer them at least.
Oh, yep, this one too. In New Guinea, there has been for decades reports of the ropen, and several cases in Cuba and many of the Southwest too. The ropen again is another flying cryptid creature. So,
ROPEN.
yep,
Oh, cool.
ropen, like our open.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to write all this down because I'm so interested. I want to know what you guys are learning about that I'm not.
Oh yeah. Well, that's cryptozoology. This is all the creatures and stuff that are cited all over the world that go back to the fossil record. That we know existed and people keep seeing. We have tons of sightings all over the world of like the Mokelia membe is a giant sauropod that is down in the Congo. So it's been cited for years and stuff, and the natives basically say, this is what we saw. And people go down there and say, well, did you see an elephant or a giraffe? And they show them these pictures, and then they show them a dinosaur and they say, nope, that's what we saw is the dinosaur. So, but there's, like the other one as well, the Congo Mato and stuff that are down in Africa or in the Congo. It's very hard to get into the Congo because of all the war and the fighting and, so the research and stuff just can't get in there to do the investigating and stuff. So.
Right.
Absolutely interesting.
There's a lot that I want to do. Like, I have a lot of environmental ideas that I think it could really benefit. Like TEPCO just dumped 2 tons of radioactive waste into the Pacific Ocean. I have a solution to doing that next time, and I think to get it to happen, like I kind of want to do like an underground well sort of concept, and I think that they could actually study all of the stones and artifacts that are in the dirt and soil whenever you're digging, that they can be studied so we can find out more about what's going on and conserve future life, because toxic waste is just a cancer on earth, you know what I mean? It's just going to spread worse. It's going to ruin other animals, and the environment is just going to keep going on. And TEPCO just did it willy-nilly, like it was nothing, like they were just spitting or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that companies and things do that just aren't healthy for the world or the environment or any of us out here that are living there. So
right, but we'll see soon.
Absolutely. So before we head out here, we are coming up on the end here. You have your own like network, television network, or tell us a little bit about that and where people can find it and all about it.
Right. I'm gonna write down how to say. Actually, it's not gonna come out right on the thing. It's DIAANI, DianiTV.com. That's the website. It's www.dianitv.com. And then I'm also a music curator on Groover and do a few other things like that. But I'm affiliated with our company is with Universal, with Comcast, with Roku. We have a few different series fixing to start filming. We're going to be able to be app accessible. We just have a lot in the works right now. And I am a media journalist, a music journalist, and I promote a lot of content on our website, along with my partner, Dennis, who owns the website, and it's a bunch of, it's a bunch of thrills being able to write about music, being a former musician, and also networking with like-minded individuals. It's a true treat to getting to enjoy life right now.
Very good. Awesome. And that I do have links to the show notes as well. You can
Awesome.
check that
Thank
out.
you.
Absolutely. All right. We have two last questions for you. One
Okay.
is, will you have Barnaby as a guest on your stream? He is an excellent storyteller and researcher. I know he is in great demand. Well, thank you so much for the compliments.
That is actually something I discussed with him as soon as I found out that I was going to be able to do this one. I was like, well, hey, why don't you be a guest on my show?
There you
So
go.
we're going to try to exchange a good time and date and stuff like that, and a good streaming. Like, I need to figure out how you're doing it on live. Like, you need to explain that to me so I can get something rolling over there.
StreamYard. StreamYard is an amazing platform. Yep.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
now you
I'm
said
gonna
you
have
have
to
the
do
app
that.
as well. So there you go.
Yeah, hey, I have the app now.
And then your final question here as we wrap things up. Is there a book that you recommend on the topics that you have discussed today?
Not really, because I don't think that the things that I have
Mhm.
are being talked about or have been talked about. And if they have, they've been destroyed or hidden. And so I would say wait until my book comes out. Can I say something
Mm,
like that?
there you go. That's a
That's
good plug.
something that, yeah, I'm definitely writing about all of this. I've been writing a book for almost 2 years now about the different things that I found and my opinions on them, and other people's opinions on me for thinking those things, and it's fun.
Yeah,
I hope they book
absolutely.
fun.
There you go. And when are you expected to have your book out?
Oh, there's no telling, honestly. Um, I don't. I hope it's not one of those projects where I feel like I can never be done with it because I have so
Mhm.
much more to say. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that I can end it soon, and then as soon as I do, I will let all of you guys know.
Awesome. Very good. We have a lot of thank yous and have a great insights, taking questions and commentary. Truly an honor. Much appreciated. Stay happy, healthy, and stay blessed. Your sister says thank you and love and respect to you. And also thanks for the great interview. So it was a great time this week. So awesome.
Thank you
Seems like people
guys.
really
Well,
enjoyed having you on.
I appreciate everything and everybody's questions and how interactive people were. I enjoyed that. That's really fun.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a blast having you on, and I look forward to talking more with you on your show. And
Yeah, that'd be
hopefully, we
great.
get your book out pretty soon, sooner than later. And best
Yes.
of luck with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You have a great day.
You too.
All right, guys, that is our show for this week. We are going to be back next week with more Bigfooty goodness. That's right, we have more Bigfoot on next week. And coming up this week, we also have the Paranormal Spectrum on Thursday. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, we have more guests of that nature on that show as well. So, guys, I hope that you had a great show today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the edge.